This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. We simply analyze the use of weapons and other props in movies from a historical and cinematic perspective. This content does not in any way promote violence or advocate the misuse of weapons. Viewer discretion is advised. One gun, one speech. One moment that changed action cinema forever. When Clint Eastwood pointed that massive Smith Wesson Model 29 at a bank robber in 1971 and said, "Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?" He didn't just create an iconic movie scene. He transformed a relatively obscure revolver into the most famous handgun in the world. The Smith & Wesson Model 2944 Magnum became so synonymous with Dirty Harry that gun stores couldn't keep them in stock. Grown men lined up to buy a piece of cinema history. But what makes this gun so special? Why did this particular revolver become a cultural phenomenon? And how did it define not just a character, but an entire era of filmmaking? Let's break down the gun that made Dirty Harry immortal, because this isn't just about a firearm. It's about the birth of a legend. Before we dive into Dirty Harry, we need to understand what the Smith & Wesson Model 29 actually is and why it was revolutionary. This revolver was introduced in 1955, and it was built for one purpose: to chamber the most powerful handgun cartridge available at the time, the .44 Magnum. The .44 Magnum cartridge was developed by Elmer Keith, a legendary gun writer and experimenter who believed that handgun cartridges needed more power for hunting large game. Working with Smith & Wesson and Remington, Keith created a cartridge that pushed a 240-grain bullet at over 1,400 feet per second, generating more than 1,000 foot-pounds of energy. To put that in perspective, that's roughly double the power of a .45 ACP and significantly more powerful than a 9mm. The Model 29 is built on Smith & Wesson's large end frame, which was necessary to handle the tremendous pressure and recoil of the .44 Magnum cartridge. The gun is a double-action revolver, meaning you can either cock the hammer manually for a lighter trigger pull, or just pull through the double-action trigger to fire. It holds 6 rounds in the cylinder and features adjustable sights for precision shooting. The revolver came in various barrel lengths: 4 inches, 6.5 inches, and 8.375 inches. But the version that became famous in Dirty Harry was the 6.5-inch model. This barrel length provided the perfect balance between power, accuracy, and the ability to carry the gun in a shoulder holster. At 48.5 ounces unloaded, this is a heavy gun, but that weight helps manage the substantial recoil of the .44 Magnum cartridge. Before Dirty Harry came along in 1971, the Model 29 was a niche weapon. Serious handgun hunters used it for taking down deer and other large game. Some law enforcement officers carried it, though most found it too powerful and too heavy for everyday police work. It was respected by gun enthusiasts, but it wasn't a household name. That was all about to change. Let's talk about the opening scene of Dirty Harry, because this is where the legend was born. Inspector Harry Callahan is eating a hot dog when a bank robbery goes down across the street. Without hesitation, Harry walks toward the chaos, pulls out that massive revolver, and proceeds to take down multiple armed robbers with surgical precision. But it's what happens next that made history. One wounded robber is lying on the ground next to his shotgun, trying to decide if he should reach for it. Harry walks up, points the Model 29 at him, and delivers one of the most famous monologues in cinema history. "I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5? Well, to tell you the truth, in all this excitement, I've kind of lost track myself. But being this is a .44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, and would blow your head clean off, you've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?" This scene works on multiple levels. First, there's the psychological warfare. Harry's making the robber think about whether he's got a round left in that cylinder. Second, there's the sheer intimidation factor of that massive revolver pointed at your face. And third, there's Harry's complete confidence and control of the situation. He's not afraid. He's not uncertain. He's in complete command, and that gun is the physical manifestation of his authority. The scene also establishes Harry's character perfectly. He's willing to use overwhelming force when necessary. He's got ice water in his veins, and he doesn't play by the rules. The Model 29 isn't just a gun in this scene. It's an extension of Harry's personality. Big, powerful, and absolutely uncompromising. The choice of the Smith & Wesson Model 29 for Dirty Harry wasn't random. It was brilliant character development through props. Think about what the gun represents. In 1971, most police officers carried 38 special revolvers or maybe a .357 Magnum if they wanted more power. Harry Callahan carries a .44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun available. That tells you everything you need to know about his approach to law enforcement. Harry doesn't believe in half measures. When he goes after criminals, he brings overwhelming force. The .44 Magnum is overkill for most police work, and that's exactly the point. Harry Callahan is overkill. He's the guy you call when the situation has already gone to hell, and you need someone who's willing to do whatever it takes to stop the bad guys. The gun also represents Harry's independence and his willingness to buck the system. While other cops are carrying standard-issue weapons, Harry's got his hand cannon. He's not following department guidelines. He's doing what he thinks is necessary to get the job done. The Model 29 is a physical representation of Harry's refusal to conform to bureaucratic rules that he sees as obstacles to real justice. There's also something primal about the .44 Magnum. This isn't a precision instrument, it's a hand cannon that delivers devastating power. When Harry pulls that trigger, there's no question about the result. The bad guy is going down, period. In a film that's all about a cop who's frustrated with a system that coddles criminals and ties the hands of law enforcement, the .44 Magnum represents the ultimate expression of direct, uncompromising force. The impact of Dirty Harry on gun culture cannot be overstated. Before the film, Smith & Wesson was producing hundreds of Model 29 revolvers per year. After Dirty Harry hit theaters, demand exploded. Gun stores couldn't keep them in stock. People were putting their names on waiting lists that stretched for months. The price of used Model 29s skyrocketed as collectors, and fans scrambled to own a piece of cinema history. Smith & Wesson ramped up production, but they still couldn't meet demand. The Model 29 went from being a specialized hunting revolver to being one of the most sought-after handguns in America. Gun magazines ran articles about the Dirty Harry effect, and shooting ranges reported increased interest in Magnum revolvers. This phenomenon continued through all 5 Dirty Harry films. Every time a new movie came out, there was a renewed surge in demand for the Model 29. The gun became so associated with the character that it was impossible to separate them. If you owned a Model 29, people called it your Dirty Harry gun. The revolver had transcended its original purpose and become a cultural icon. The sequels in the gun's evolution, the Smith & Wesson Model 29 appeared in all 5 Dirty Harry films, though with some variations. In Magnum Force, 1973, Harry's still carrying his trusty .44 Magnum, and there's even a scene where he discusses the merits of different loads with a fellow officer. This scene shows that Harry isn't just carrying the gun for intimidation. He's a serious student of firearms who understands ballistics and ammunition selection. In The Enforcer, 1976, Harry's Model 29 gets even more screen time, including a memorable scene where he uses it to take out a terrorist from long range. This scene demonstrates the accuracy potential of the revolver in the hands of a skilled shooter. The .44 Magnum isn't just about raw power, it's also capable of precision when needed. Sudden Impact, 1983, gave us another iconic line associated with the Model 29. "Go ahead, make my day." Once again, Harry's pointing that massive revolver at a criminal, daring him to make a move. The gun has become so associated with Harry's character that just seeing it on screen creates tension. You know that when Harry draws that .44 Magnum, someone's about to have a very bad day. The Deadpool 1988, the final Dirty Harry film, continued to feature the Model 29 prominently. By this point, the gun and the character were inseparable. You couldn't imagine Harry Callahan carrying anything else. The Model 29 had become as much a part of his identity as his squint, his gravelly voice, and his contempt for bureaucracy. Now let's talk about the reality of shooting a .44 Magnum, because Hollywood doesn't always show you the full picture. The Smith & Wesson Model 29 is an absolute beast to shoot. The recoil is substantial. We're talking about a sharp, powerful kick that can be uncomfortable even for experienced shooters. The muzzle blast is impressive, with a bright flash and a concussive boom, that makes everyone at the range turn their heads. In the movies, Clint Eastwood makes shooting the Model 29 look effortless. He fires it one-handed, barely flinching, maintaining perfect control. The reality is that most shooters need both hands to control a .44 Magnum effectively, especially for follow-up shots. The recoil can be punishing, and shooting a full cylinder of Magnum loads can leave your hands sore. That said, the Model 29 is an incredibly well-made revolver. Smith & Wesson's end frame is robust and overbuilt, designed specifically to handle the pressures of the .44 Magnum cartridge. The gun is accurate, reliable, and built to last. Many Model 29s from the 1970s are still in service today, testament to the quality of Smith & Wesson's craftsmanship. The adjustable sights on the Model 29 allow for precise shooting at extended ranges. While most offensive handgun encounters happen at close range, the .44 Magnum is capable of accurate fire out to 100 yards or more in the hands of a skilled shooter. This versatility made it popular with handgun hunters who needed to take ethical shots at game animals. Today, the Smith & Wesson Model 29 is still in production. Though it's been joined by numerous other powerful handgun options, the .44 Magnum is no longer the most powerful handgun in the world. That title now belongs to cartridges like the .500S and W Magnum and the .460S and W Magnum. But the Model 29's place in history is secure. For collectors and enthusiasts, owning a Model 29 is about more than just having a powerful revolver. It's about owning a piece of cinema history. The gun represents a specific era of filmmaking when action heroes were larger than life and carried weapons to match. It's a tangible connection to one of the most iconic characters in film history. The Model 29 also represents a different approach to law enforcement firearms. In an era where most police departments have transitioned to high-capacity semi-automatic pistols, the 6-shot .44 Magnum revolver seems almost quaint, but there's something appealing about its simplicity and raw power. It's a reminder that sometimes 6 rounds of devastating firepower is all you need if you're skilled enough to make them count. The Smith & Wesson Model 29 matters because it represents something larger than just a firearm. It's a symbol of a character who refused to compromise, who believed in direct action over bureaucratic procedure, and who was willing to use overwhelming force to protect the innocent. Whether you agree with Harry Callahan's methods or not, there's no denying the impact he had on popular culture. The gun also represents a high point in American firearms manufacturing. The Model 29 is a beautifully crafted piece of machinery, built to exacting standards and designed to last for generations. It's a reminder of when American gun makers were producing some of the finest firearms in the world, and when quality and craftsmanship were paramount. For many gun enthusiasts, the Model 29 was their introduction to serious handguns. Inspired by Dirty Harry, they saved up their money, bought a Model 29, and discovered the satisfaction of shooting a powerful, accurate revolver. That experience created lifelong gun enthusiasts and helped sustain interest in revolvers even as semi-automatics became more popular. The Smith & Wesson Model 29 .44 Magnum didn't just define Dirty Harry, it became Dirty Harry. The gun and the character are so intertwined that it's impossible to think of one without the other. When Clint Eastwood pointed that massive revolver at a criminal and asked if they felt lucky, he created a moment that transcended cinema and entered our cultural consciousness. This wasn't just about a powerful handgun, it was about a character who represented a specific worldview, a specific approach to justice, and a specific era in American culture. The Model 29 was the perfect physical manifestation of everything Harry Callahan stood for: powerful, uncompromising, and absolutely effective. 50 years after Dirty Harry first hit theaters, the Smith & Wesson Model 29 remains one of the most iconic firearms in history. It transformed from a specialized hunting revolver into a cultural phenomenon, all because of one character, one actor, and one unforgettable line of dialogue. That's the power of great filmmaking combined with the perfect prop. So there you have it, the story of the gun that defined Dirty Harry. From its technical specifications to its cultural impact, the Smith & Wesson Model 29 .44 Magnum earned its place in history. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. Drop a comment below and let me know. Do you feel lucky? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.